Welcome back to Uprising. I'm Sonali Kolhatkar. You can now watch the TV version of Uprising online on youtube.com/uprising with Sonali. That's our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. An enormous mysterious crater was discovered last summer in Siberia's Yamal Peninsula, making headlines all over the world. It was not the result of a missile explosion or a meteorite or even alien life, as some speculated. Scientists discovered unusually high concentrations of methane gas at the bottom of the crater. It is now known that permafrost containing large amounts of methane melted due to higher than average temperatures causing the crater. We all know that carbon dioxide released by the burning of fossil fuels is warming the planet dangerously, but what many of us are not accounting for is that a warming planet is causing major formations of ice in places like the Arctic and Siberia to melt, which in turn is releasing huge pockets of trapped methane. Now, methane is a far more potent greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide, and the release of a large amount could spark a positive feedback loop, triggering catastrophic runaway global warming. My guest is Dahr Jamail. He's a staff reporter at Truthout. He's the author of the books The Will to Resist, Soldiers Who Refuse to Fight in Iraq and Afghanistan, and Beyond the Green Zone, Dispatches from an Unembedded Journalist in Occupied Iraq. He's also won the Martha Gellhorn Award for Investigative Journalism, among many other awards. And his latest piece in Truthout is called The Methane Monster Roars. Hi, Dahr.
Hi, Sonali. Good to be with you.
So each summer during the warmer months, as I understand it, and as you've written, Arctic sea ice retreats, it melts, and then it forms back over the winter. And during recent years, scientists have found that because of global warming, more and more is melting each summer, and that apparently in 2 summers, all of the Arctic ice will melt during summer of 2016. And so does that mean that all the methane trapped in it will be released by then?
Well, that's the general idea, but it's, we need to get a little bit more specific in that the retreating and the shrinking and the thinning of the Arctic sea ice has been happening since basically the 70s is when we started on a long, slow in human terms, fast in geologic terms, decline in the Arctic sea ice, both in thickness and in reach. And so we are setting records now every year as far as how much is left volume-wise. And what's happening is that's obviously then opening up a lot more of the Arctic Ocean so that solar radiation can reach down in, start warming the water faster, as well as reaching the permafrost in the shores and on the shallow continental shelves on the north coasts. And underneath those, in the permafrost and underneath the water in the shallows lie methane hydrates, which is basically methane gas, ancient methane gas, encased in ice, and that's melting and releasing the gas. Bubbles are coming up through the water. In the permafrost on land, it's going directly into the atmosphere, and that's the methane then that's kicking into the climate system, and it's speeding up warming, which then of course causes more of the ice to melt, which starts the whole thing over again, and that's what we call a positive feedback loop. And so a lot of the scientists I've been talking to, like Dr. Ira Leifer, like Natalia Shikova with the International Arctic Research Center out of University of Alaska Fairbanks. These are folks who've been studying it for years. Natalia herself for over a decade, and they're very worried that we've already started this positive feedback loop.